Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Chat with Deb. Today I want to talk about game-based learning, and recently I had the pleasure of hearing a gentleman by the name of Sasha Barab, and one of the quotes that he had really struck home for me as far as why we would even use gaming with students. And so I put that quote in my blog here, which says, games basically empower students to get that critical feedback that they need to help them to learn and to be engaged. And I love just the thought of our students being more engaged in their own learning. So I have several sites to share with you today. Let's get started. One of my favorite ways to get some game-based learning in my classroom is a site called classtools.net, and there's a lot of different things you can get off this site, but they have a very simple gaming platform to make a Pac Man game using your own content from your classroom and what you're teaching. So once on the Pac Man game, it's very easy to either view the games that have already been made or create your own game. Let's view a game that's already been made. Here are all different sample quizzes that we can take a look at. So if I click on one of these, you can see that I can play the game. I have to answer a question correctly in order to play Pac Man. So if I get a wrong answer, it won't let me play. And it basically says game over. And so I'd have to continue and start over again. If I get a right answer, it'll let me play Pac Man, and I believe you have to get 3 right answers in a row to get a new life. So here we go. I'm going to move my little Pac Man, try to avoid getting eaten. And I just want to tell you I'm not the best gamer, so if I get eaten, don't blame me. Oh, I got eaten. So you can always check out and see if there's a game that's already been created, but another option is to create a new game on the Pac Man quiz generator. So if I click a new game, this is pretty simple. You have this blank box to put in your questions and answers. If I hover over this help button, it shows me exactly how to do that, how to write question A, an asterisk, then the correct answer, an asterisk, and then followed by the incorrect answers. So it's really simple. It also gives me some help that says you can submit some or all of your questions with just one answer, and it will generate the random incorrect answers from your other questions. So this could be pretty quick to create your own quiz. They also give us an example of what it would look like. And you could easily create this in a Google Doc and then just copy and paste it into the box to create your own. So they make it pretty simple to make a Pac Man game. And trust me, your students will love playing Pac Man. I loved it when I was a kid. Let's take a look at another site that's super easy to use. This is called Testlegend, and this is mainly for studying vocabulary or matching up terms to get to know terms. The first thing you can do is go to the import button. Right now in library I haven't created any sets, but if I go to the import button, I can see over here that there are different categories that games are under, and I can search for a game. So let's search for a game on the solar system. And I can see here there's a whole bunch of them. If I just simply click on one of these, I can see the content that is in this game. Again, it's vocabulary and definitions. I can then go ahead and play this game. So if I save this solar system vocabulary, I can then go to my library and actually play this game and see what it looks like. Once here, I can see that I have a definition, and I have to figure out which one of these are my correct answer. And of course I have my little guy here, and he has a full life right now. If I get a correct answer, I get to kill the little monster. If I get an incorrect answer, as you can see here, the little monster gets to get me and I lose part of my life. And you also see there's a timer going, telling me how long I have to answer the question. Oh, I got another one wrong, so my life is half down. All right, I got rid of him. That's awesome. Oh dear. And you can see their game over because I died. But it is kind of fun. You can make your own vocabulary as well. I'll show you how. So if I wanted to create my own game, I can easily take this solar system vocabulary game that I was just in, and I can change any of these questions that are here just by simply typing them. I can get rid of one if I don't like it. I can just type right in the text and change it. I can change my game options over here. So player health, you can change how much health a person can have. You can change how many seconds a person gets to answer the questions. Another thing I like, you can actually create a class as well. So I could put several games in this class. I could give my class a name and save it. And what I really like is after you've created your class and I click on it, I can easily now share this out with others. And right here, I can put emails in of my students to help them join, or I can simply share out this code with my students. And then when they go there, they'll see the different games I've put in for them to play. So it's very easy to create your own content, and it would be really fun for the students to play these games. Let me tell you about another site that Sasha Barab mentioned to us. It's called GameStar Mechanic. So I went there and I've been playing around with it a little bit. I signed up for the free account. You can pay for an account as a teacher for your students, but I just did the free one. Once in here, there's 3 different things I can do: a quest, the workshop, or game alley. If I go to quest right now, you can see here that I can play my quest. The introduction runs almost like a graphic novel, so it's pretty cool. It tells you about the quest and what you're trying to accomplish and do. I'm just going to quickly go through it. Eventually then, after I learn about the quest and the characters and what's happening, I can then start playing games. So if I go over here, this is my first game. You can see I have to do this game to unlock the others. Once I click the game, it gives me some basic tips and directions here. And once I click game, I get the basic idea of I have a little guy who has to move through and get keys and unlock the key, but avoid the little characters. Now I need to avoid these little guys. Get another key. And so as your students begin to work through this, they start to develop an understanding of what it takes to build a game, that you have a quest, that you have some obstacles in your way, and that you have to accomplish something. The levels continuously get more and more difficult as you work through them. Another part of GameStar Mechanics, as I mentioned, is the workshop. In the workshop, I can actually begin to build a game. And so I have to think about what I've learned from the previous quests and think about how I would click and make this backdrop an actual game. So that's pretty cool. And lastly, as I mentioned, there's Game Alley. And Game Alley lets you look at games that other people have created. So here's some featured games, and I can go in and check these out and play them and see what other people have done. All right, well, I hope one of these sites are helpful to you. So whether you decide to make a Pac Man review game or use Testlegends to help your students study vocabulary, or allow your students some time to explore what gaming is all about and how to actually build your own games on the GameStar Mechanics, any of these would be beneficial to your students, and I hope that you learned something today. Well, until next time, I hope you're well, and we'll talk again soon. Bye, everybody.